Now, let's say you gave a name to the cell and there is something wrong. You know what? Maybe the hours per day, you have misspelled it. Now, it would be really bad. Let's say day. Okay, now if it is per day, I hit enter. I can see the name over here. It's still per day. That means whatever change I made, it's done. There is no way I can change this directly from here. So how do I change it? How do I fix it if it's an incorrect spelling? For that, you come to the formulas menu. Under the formulas menu, you have something called as a name manager. Well, in case if you do not see the word name manager, just keep a look at this icon. Just note this icon, how it looks like a name tag. Click on this, and here are the names. You see days in year, hours per day, and then the other name that we gave for the same cell. It's hours per dy, which was not visible to us, but it did add up. Now this is an error, then I might delete this. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, okay. And in case if I want to change this, maybe I refer to a wrong cell. If it is referred to a wrong cell, I might just clear it off from here. And again, refer to the correct cell, maybe this or this. Well, in case if you want to edit it, it's asking, do you want to save changes you made to a name reference? As of now, I don't want to save because it's already correct. Now, if I want to make any further changes, I can click on edit. Here I can give the name like something like this. If I give an underscore hours per day, click OK. Now it's with an underscore. Close it. And take a look at this. The name has changed to hours per day. But what about the formulas which we had already entered? See, the formula has already adjusted and picked up the new name for these cells. You do not need to worry about them now. That's how robust this naming convention works. Now let me go back and get this back to hours per day. Well, in case I would just leave this. Now, if I want, I can have another naming convention over here. I can also refer to a cell, and probably it's a new name that I'm giving. Let's say countries. I say countries. Now this time, instead of referring to a single cell here, I might want to refer to an entire range. So this is the range that I'm working on. So I can give a name to this entire range as well. You can click on OK. And here it is, countries. It's an entire range that's been named, right? Now let me delete this and show you the other way. I select this entire range and click here and type countries. Hit enter. Now you see this cell is G5 as it was, but if I select the entire range, it's countries. What if I select only a part of the range? Well, it does not show anything. What if I select almost everything in the cell in the range except for one cell? It does not show the name. The name will appear only when the entire range is selected. Countries. Now, how do we make use of this? Let's see. Here, in case if I were to just type countries, what would happen? You see, Excel has automatically called up this entire set of data over here, this entire range. But right now, we do not want to use this. For older versions of Excel, you might get an error, but not an issue. Now, based on this name that we have given, I would like to find out the sales for Singapore. And what would be the better way other than using the VLOOKUP in this case? That's quite easy and faster way to do this. Let's use VLOOKUP. So I say VLOOKUP, lookup value, I say this Singapore, comma, now table array. Take a look at this. I have this entire table array selected. The moment I select the entire table array, it's countries there. But before I select the entire table, it was just sheet 1 G5 I19. But if I select the entire range, it's a name in place now, countries, comma, column index number. Now, in case if Singapore is located in the first column, I would like the corresponding sales, which is in the third column, to be populated. And then I want an exact match. I don't want an approximate match. close the brackets, and here we have this. Great, you see, countries. Now the beauty is, I can just copy and paste it down here, although it gives an NA error because there's no name over here, but countries, it's still referring to countries, just like the names that we had here. Maybe I might give USA as the name over here, and see, 484. That's it. Singapore had 239. That's the story here. So you do not have the hassle of locking the entire range of using the dollar signs. You can just give a name to this entire set. I would recommend that if you're frequently using this range throughout your file, then it's better to give a name to this range and call it wherever required. Otherwise, if it is one-off case, then it does not make sense to give a name to it. Why complicate things? Why make a rush of whole lot of names over here in this list? Use it diligently and efficiently. So let's proceed further and finish this off. So this time we need the sales for Denmark. Similarly, I would recommend you to try to get the region for Peru. So we'll use VLOOKUP, lookup for Denmark. In either I can select the range over here, or I can just say countries. The range here, we have this. If matched, I know that the sales is in the third column because I've seen that table earlier. Otherwise, I would have had to go back and check that. Now I need an exact match, close the bracket. Here we have this. And what about Peru? I say VLOOKUP. Look up for this country in table array countries. Wow, now that's quite convenient, right? I do not need to worry about what does I-15 or maybe J-15 to I-15 refer to. And then column index number. Now this time it's the region that we are looking for. It's column number 2. Range lookup is exact match and close brackets. Here we have it, Latin America. Now this is the region, the area that is starting from G5 to I-20. So if I were to select G5 to I-20 and refer this in my VLOOKUP, it would still work. Okay, that is like G5 to I-20, but this is under sheet 1. So it should look something like sheet 1 exclamation and hit enter. It still works. But now take a look at this formula. How will I find out what does this refer to? I will have to scroll all the way and navigate all the way to sheet 1 and then identify where is G5, I-20. And what if you had humongous data over here? Remember, there are more than 120 countries globally, irrespective of whether some of them are recognized, some of them are not recognized. That's not the point, but there are more than 130 countries out over there. It's a huge list. It's really painful to scroll all the way up and down every time. But if you have a single list over here by the name countries, something like this, you do not need to worry about that. All you need to remember would be how's the table structured. You have first the countries, then the region, and sales. Maybe if you have capitals, you can add that, or maybe population as well. And that's absolutely fine. So this is the beauty of naming of cells and ranges. When we selected this set of cells over here, that's called naming of range. And in case if you make an error while giving a name, or if you refer to a wrong one, or let's say here I have something like capitals, a new column added over here. Now I also want this to be added within the name range. So I would just come here. We had countries here. Either I can double click or click on that edit here. That's fine. Or it allows me to directly change the reference as well. So I select this. I click here. Well, in case if you want, you can also select the headings. That's up to you and as per your requirement. This time I'm also highlighting capitals. Great. I have made provision for that within this limit. Click close. Do you want to save changes made to a reference? Yes. And that's it. Now see again. Now if I select this, it's no name here. But the moment I select the entire table, including the capitals, there we have this. Countries. And that's the beauty here.